Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your biblically inclined bookish agent of wonderful books. And today we're going to be doing a book review since apparently, once again, it is Wednesday and that is the day we review books because that's just what we do around here. Anyway, I am the host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. We will be reviewing this wonderfully picturesque book from 1972, A Pictorial History of Sea Monsters. And before we get into it too much further, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I love reading the comments. This book has a lot of great illustrations. 372. That's a lot. We're not going to see that many, I promise. Not even close. Just some of the coolest ones. And then you can find this on the Internet Archive. And so now let's get right into it. So here's the book. Now I did take pictures of it so that I don't have to do this the whole time, which we will see this picture later on because I think it's cool. It starts out, well, we'll just see everything. Here's the back. I just wanted to let you know I do have it. This is my second copy. First copy I lent to a friend of mine back in the days of roller derby, whose derby name was Kraken, Elise La Kraken. And I thought she'd be interested in seeing something about that. And apparently the dog got a hold of it, so she bought me a new one, which is very kind of her. I mean, it's not expensive. You can find them everywhere. I could not find out a lot about Mr. James B. Sweeney, though. And couldn't find out how much this cost in 1971. It was released January 1st, 1971. But now let's get into the pictures and let's go. This is just a little interstitial here. And fade. All right, so here is our picture, or our cover, which I've cropped a little bit, but as you can see, it's a well-loved version. The book runs about 300 pages as well. I forgot to check. 311, so there's more illustrations than pages. And it is well-researched. Mr. Sweeney has at least 8 books on Amazon you can purchase. Several of them are also on the Internet Archive. I was kind of interested there's another one about monsters, or sea monsters. Let's see, there's a pictorial history of oceanographic submersibles, sea monsters, military forts, museums, forts, and historic sites of the United States, famous aviators, army leaders, true spy stories, disaster, a combat reporter's book, and sea monsters. That might be the one I'm interested in. A collection of eyewitness accounts, as well as ghosts. Sea Monsters was published in 1977, and that's the last one I could find. But I'd be interested in that. It's $22. And a collection of eyewitness reports of sea monsters, which have been cited as long ago as 700 BC and as recently as 1976. So the book's over. This one's almost the Sea Monsters. A collection of eyewitness accounts is almost 70 years old. This one's over 70 years old. So be that as it may, let's just dive right into it. There's part 1. It's divided into 2 parts, of course. Part 1 is Sea Monsters. Part 2 is other dangerous marine life. We're not going to go into that very much. We're just going to say with the Sea Monsters, though, I did include a couple of pictures of what they consider dangerous marine life, which means hungry, not particularly that they're out to get you. And seem to have lost something here. But let's just get into that. Here is part 1. This is the title page there. And this is sharks. Rays and sawfish are not dangerous. Giant groupers are not dangerous. And I do seem to be missing a very vital ingredient here. So right away, we start out with sea monster. I mean, it's really when I say it's well researched, look at this. It's got this is from the 1600s, from the Boston Public Library. I'm going to Just go look at the chapter. I'll have this open here. So this is setting the stage, and it goes in with, you know, it's not a very humorous book. I gotta say that, but it's all right. This is from Hungary. There's I think that's a Charles Knight up there, the plesiosaurs and ichthyosaurs, coelacanth, and a sea scorpion. But we get right into it. I mean, this is off the English. I mean, look at it. These are just really cool pictures. That obviously looks like a bunch of seaweed to me, but I'm not a mariner. Norwegian picture of an ogre of some kind. Norwegian folk tales. See, I'd like to see some of these. But it's really such a good book. I mean, for night, I checked it out a lot from the library. I actually finally saw a copy once in a bookstore, and my sainted mother said, we can just get it at the library. But I wanted to own it. I spent a lot of time with this book. There's the Midgard Serpent, Jormungandr. Tells the story of a sea monster that was so long it reached around the entire island. I'm pretty sure that's the world serpent. So, and this obviously sea serpents. Now they talk about the difference between sea serpents and sea monsters, how they're pretty interchangeable now. I did take all these pictures right from the book. There's, fortunately, boy, that I would not want to be a naked man fighting a giant octopus, because this says squid, but it looks bulbous there to me. Yeah, so once again, does that look like a squid? That looks like an octopus to me. And there's more pictures. We're just not going to see all of them. I would not be surprised if there were squid that attacked boats, wooden boats sailing across there. They were hungry. Nineveh, yes, fish god. There's the Daedalus. There's the term sea monster and sea serpent became interchangeable. So, and I don't know. You don't see about things about sea serpents, sea monsters becoming erect, right? But yeah. Once again, there's the first use the term. It's a crake. If it's a singular, it's a kraken is a pod. So, but there you go. Because it had many tentacles, obviously. Norwegian, not Greek. And this is the same one that's on the cover. But in later days, in more recent days, that is, scientists and people who study sea monsters have decided that, this is a squid tentacle. And they just, the rest of it's there and all of that. So clearly shows that sea monsters attacked and devoured their crew. Sure, and they talk about how often that the maps just had sea monsters on them, and clear into the 20th century they were still putting them on there. Nova Guinea, New Guinea. See sea monsters all over the place. Occidentalis. Once again, giant. It looks like an octopus to me, but they go through the history here, and as it gets closer to to the people saw them a lot, reputable people. The great sea serpent, and these are just those old. Some of them look more ridiculous than others. This looks very similar to the one we saw earlier. One of the fakes. I mean, how many sea monsters have wheels? Be that as it may. Here's the Gloucester sea serpent. Now we're getting into the 17th and 18th centuries here. And there it is. And reported in the Times there. Is that what it is? So 1817. So we're in the 19th century now. I just love these. We do see repeats here and there, but there's the devilfish, otherwise known as a giant squid, 1877. Once again, it's historical, and a pictorial history, but they're not saying. I don't think I haven't read it for a minute. I got the original book in 2005, so I've had it for 20 years, and I'm so glad I remembered the name of it. I just like this one here because what the hell is that thing? It looks like a gigantic anglerfish. And I like this one up here. Where he's like, look, another squid being captured, another squid being captured. It did happen because they would float up the giant squid. And as of that writing of the book, none had been ever captured, filmed, or taken pictures of alive. Lots of dead squid floated around everywhere. The Architeuthis ducks and the colossal and the giant squid. But the live ones have just been in the last, 20 or 30 years. I just love the look. What is Gustav Doré? I thought that was Gustav Doré. Ray Harryhausen would have seen that, I'm sure, 100%. I like this picture here because it looks like it's right out of Reptilicus. Apparently Pablo Beach in Florida saw this. They're showing a lot of ankle there, aren't they? Numerous sea monsters. I like this one, this little pipe. He reminds me of a pipe cleaner for some reason. Estimated at 80 feet. You ever notice how since cell phones and cameras, look, now we're into the 20th century. Cell phones and cameras everyone has one. You don't see a lot of these anymore. That's kind of sad. The romance of the mystery monster of the sea is gone, and of lakes. We'll get to the most famous lake monster here in a little bit. Because remember, this is 1971, 72, and they were still believing. I like him because he's cute. He's got a mustache, got a little goatee there. I don't even... Placidus. Okay. The sea hag in the Gulf of Georgia. There she is, Nessie, as actually photographed, a distance of 4.5 miles. No, it's a toy from a distance of what? Like 3 feet. We know that now. They've admitted to it, which, once again, when you look at it, it's like, oh, it wasn't fake. They just lied about how far away they were, right? Which is sad. The romantic in me wants there to be a lake monster in Loch Ness and Loch Morar and every other British and Scottish and Irish Isle lake up there, but the realist in me says it's probably not going to happen in this on this continuum. Or now we're to the end of where they start this Canadian sea monster, for King of the Deep. It's not Ogopogo. I don't even know if they talk about Ogopogo in here. They should have. And now we're into the other dangerous marine life, which is basically sharks, killer whales, which are not known to attack people, and this tiny little octopus. I love octopi. The squid. There's little bitty squid, or it can be kind of aggressive. And there's the beak of the squid, and then that's the end. There's the back of the book. Yeah, I know. It's a short episode. I've done 2 long ones. I'm going to end up with a trailer of a sea monster of sorts. And other than that, this is the end of the episode. We'll have some music here in a moment. Kudos points to anybody who knows where this music came from, because it also sort of involves a sea monster. Oh, there's singing even. Maybe we have to go back a little bit. Anyway, be that as it may. Oops, it's not Godzilla. This is your humble agent, signing off until our next assignment. And until then, live long and prosper.
Godzilla, Ebirah, and Mothra in one of the most explosive action pictures ever to hit the screen. From the depths of the ocean comes the most terrifying horror of the deep. From within the mountain caves comes the dreaded monster Godzilla. most titanic battle ever screened when the monster of the deep challenges the mighty Godzilla.